Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. Today, we're gonna roll it all into one sweet little bun, and what I mean by that is it's time for colorless and multicolored cards from Foundation because well, artifacts can go into any deck. Multicolored, not so much. So instead of trying to lump them in with monocolored, let's just do a quick review of the most powerful dual color and artifact cards that will probably start to see some play inside standard. So, without further ado, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Links in the description to the eBay store, TCG player. You can get all the cards from the box opening series to help support the channel. Plus, it's giveaway time. Link in the description. Make sure you don't miss it. So, with all that said, let's look into the cool stuff. So we'll start with artifacts, or colorless, we'll say. We have Crawler. I can't pronounce. Crawler. Anyway, 3 colorless, 3/2, already pretty decent. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. So basically a Howling Mine for free, because it's a 3/2 for 3. Howling Mine only costs 2, doesn't have a limit. Anyway, whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose a life. This is huge. Um, because they're going to draw 2 cards. They're going to lose 2 life. Plus, this lets you draw a card. And it's a 3/2 can punch him in the face. Seems powerful. Also, seems like a great combo with the old Shieldred. So that when they draw a card, instead of losing 2, they're losing 3. Plus, they're drawing 2 cards a turn. Almost like a combo. But anyway, seriously. I think it's going to be a powerful card, and in the right kind of deck styles where you can um, have better card efficiency. Outdrawing your opponent will be a big thing. And not legendary, this could also be a very powerful card for certain aggro decks, depending how the format shapes up. It'll be interesting to see where this one falls as we get into standard. The next one is an interesting one. It is the Banner of Kinship. 5 colorless. As the artifact enters, you choose a creature type. This artifact enters with one, well, it says a, but one fellowship counter on it for each creature you control of the chosen type. Now, creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1 for each fellowship counter. This is going to be interesting. It's not a good pump spell, but it is a better pump spell than a normal Crusade or Lord. Because if you have, let's say, for example, 3 elves in play, and you lay this, it gets 3 counters, and now all your elves are 4/4s. Well, they're all +3/+3, which some of them might be 5/5s and 6/6s. But anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how this card does in standard with certain creature types. This is almost like a colorless overrun. I mean, because you're playing white and you're playing all soldiers or angels. Hell, I don't know. So we'll say soldiers, something cheap, and you've got 5 soldiers on turn 5, and you lay this. Now all your soldiers are 6/6s. It's just insane how powerful this could be in the right kind of deck. So it's going to be interesting to see where this falls in the standard format, if anywhere at all. And finally, it's big, it's bad, it slices, it dices, it makes Julian fries. It is the Sire of 7 Deaths. 7 colorless, 7/7 that has First Strike, Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, Lifelink, and Ward. Pay 7 life. Surely they could put something else on this card. There's got to be some, I don't know, more evergreen effects, banding. Maybe they could put on this thing. Oh, wait, everything's got banding now. Anyhow, this card is insane. The only thing this thing is missing that would have made it more broken, which is hard to even say, is they could have gave it Death Touch since it has First Strike and Trample. Or they could give it Obliterator or whatever it is, where when it attacks, it makes you sack X number of permanents. Regardless, this 7 colorless bad boy can be part of a ramp style deck, being green style deck, or whatever, and just going to be insane. The life link will keep you alive. The first strike keeps it alive. The word pay 7 life will keep it alive. Um, Yeah, this is probably going to be the new Eldrazi that everybody complains about. You know, instead of Emrakul, it's going to be this damn thing. Sire of Seven Deaths, also probably known as SOS, because that's what you're going to be doing when this thing hits the battlefield across from you. Now, moving on to the more prominent multicolored cards, we have the Anthem of Champions. Green and white, all creatures get +1/+1. I mean, last time I checked, Bad Moon Crusade, call it what you will, was pretty damn good. And when you have one that's not color based and it's just all your creatures just have it, probably going to be good. Now, granted, it's going to have to be in a white green deck, so there's that. Green, maybe not so much because you have the Elvish Archdruid and then you're playing elves and then it's an elf deck. But maybe there's something else in green you'd want to play this with. But definitely for white, this is going to be a powerhouse as it's just definitely something cool. Now, how good will it be? We don't know. Really going to depend on probably the other sets and how it feels out. Next, we have Alicia, who laughs at fate. Black, red, and 1 for a 2/2 first striker. Decent. Whenever she attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on it, which means she's technically a 3/3 first striker for a black, red, and 1 on rate. Already okay. But then there's raid. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to its power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now we're talking. And mind you, the +1/+1 counter is every turn, so it's a 3/3 first striker, then a 4/4, then it's a 5/5, and you're just not killing it. And it's gonna just start keep jerking stuff out of the graveyard constantly. This splashed in a aristocrat style deck could be very devastating. So I see this as a powerhouse that could be put in several deck archetypes, we'll say. With the ability to pull damn near anything out of the graveyard once it gets big enough, to be honest. So this is definitely something we should be on the lookout for, as it's probably going to see, I think, a lot of standard play. The next one, we have another black, red one. Black, red, and 1 for a 3/2 devil with Death Touch. Decent. Its raid ability, at the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent of their choice or discards a card. So it doesn't say this has to swing, it just says you have to. So again, swing with anything and give your opponent a bad time. 4 of these in a deck, hell, even 2 of these going off in one turn can be devastating. So maybe there's a black-red deck out there that these cards that we just saw, Alicia and this one, will be a prominent 4 of, and this card by itself in a black-red aggro deck really be or will be spelling trouble for anybody on the other side. So at the end of all of this, we come across probably one of the best multicolor cards, I think, in Foundations, which we'll probably see play over and over again, is Elindia, Saint of Dusk, black, white, and 2 for a 4/4 with lifelink. That's already good, but it also has hexproof from instance. Now, hexproof means you can't target it either, I believe, but the fact that your opponent can't kill it with instance is pretty sweet. There's not many, we'll say, sorcery spells that people normally want to play as creature removal because, well, sorcery. And also it says as long as your life total is greater than your starting life total, it gets +1/+1, has menace, and it gets an additional +5/+5 as long as your life total is at least 10 or greater from starting life total. So it could be a 5/5, it could be a 10/10, and the whole lifelink thing is going to be an issue because if you can't kill it, it's going to be hard to kill it. Yeah, I think this has lots of potential. Aristocrat style decks. It is black white. It has lifelink. Along with many other decks where just in general as a 4-drop, this could be maybe one of the best cards because you're playing black white, some of the best removal colors there are, and Got lifelink. They can't target it. I mean, it's going to be hard to deal with something like this. So there you have it, guys. There's the set and review and what I think some of the staple cards will be moving forward the next 3 years as they help spur, spawn, call it what you will, the archetypes for upcoming standard. So until next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.